Krishna had gone away to Mathura to accomplish the task for which Vishnu had taken birth as Krishna, that is, to kill Kansa, the evil king and a maternal uncle. The gopis of Gokul pined for him. They loved him so intensely, although he was just a boy, a young boy, that they felt his absence hurting them all the time. As Krishna settled in Mathura, he sent Uddhav, a relative, to carry his message to the gopis that he had not forgotten them. They would not believe him. They were so full of anger, so hurt at his desertion, so overcome with grief, that they let go of restraint suitable to a woman's character. The dam of their tears burst. One of them was reliving the Maharas in her mind when she noticed a black bee droning around her ears. She thought him to be another messenger. In this address, there is excellent visualization, there is Virharas, there is Karunaras, there is pining of a lover for her beloved, there is anger, yet they cannot think ill of him, of Krishna, whom they loved from the core of their heart. A black bee goes from flower to flower, taking up this image. The gopi says, inconsistent is your love for the flowers. You never stick to one, even flitting from one to another, just like our Krishna. Who cares? Let Krishna please the flirtatious Mathura beauties. The yellow unguent, a sign of his proximity, would be a matter of scorn in an assembly of Yaduvanshis. Why send it to us as a mocking gift? Why belittle our devotion? Don't you touch my feet, she tells the black bee. You rascal, you are a friend of the cheat. Your salutations are false. Can't we see that your whiskers are smeared with the yellow paste of garlands worn by Krishna and crushed during the embraces of the breasts of our rivals in Mathura? O Brahmara, we are the denizens of the forest. We have no homes, being simple rustic folks. But we can see through the game. Didn't you tell us that he pines for us? Show us a woman who, charmed by his deceitful smile, waylaid by his amorous glances, will not run into his arms. You ignorant fool, there is not one such even in Swargalok compared to Lakshmi. Tell us, how do we reconcile with him? Do you still advise us to trust him, O Madhup? You may well ask, why do we talk of Krishna all the time? A valid question. Having heard of his exploits, of his Leela, having tasted even a drop of the Amrit of his name, anyone gets detached from Rag, Dvesha, joys and sorrows and worldly attachments. His doubts are set at rest even when reduced to a pauper. A bhakt, having renounced all that he had, holds nothing but Krishna's name. Like a bird surviving on grain picked from the road. Stop and think over this image. Our plight is similar. Having loved him once, we cannot live without him. Have you seen the does enamored of their black buck, getting trapped by the music of the hunter? We innocent gopis too have been trapped by Krishna, that cheat with his words soaked in honey. We believed him to be truthful. How to forget when he tickled us with his nails? The mere thought excites. Dear Brahmara, no more on this subject. We have had enough. Keep your mouth shut. But you are a friend of our beloved. You appear to have returned with a new message. Enough of persuasion, of flattery. You want a favor? Ask for anything that you want. But in confidence, tell us the truth. Has he invited us to Mathura? Have you come to escort us? What follows is pure philosophy, bhakti, says the gopi. However, we have already been to him. He is always in our thoughts. We cannot get nearer. Moreover, there is a problem. Once we attain him, our return will be problematic. Lakshmi clings to him all the time. How shall we share him with her? We inquire about people who are absent. Are they well? Are they keeping fit? Are they healthy? Are they getting proper food? Gopi asks the same thing, Madhukara. Tell us, is he happy in Mathura? Does he ever think of Ma Yashoda, Nand Baba, and of his companions like us in Vrindavan? Does he ever talk of us who are his slaves? Tell us, would he ever take us into his fragrant arms? Will our life be blessed again? Uddhav, who had come with Krishna's message, interrupted at this point. He said, "You are blessed to have come so near Bhagavan Krishna. The entire world will talk of you and worship you for your devotion." We still call Krishna Gopi Krishna. And your bhakti would be a model for others to follow. Eminent sages do not reach the heights of dhyan that you have attained. Leaving aside your sons, your husbands, your relatives, and your homes, your body, you have surrendered to Sri Krishna, who is the Lord and Master of the entire universe. There could be no better example of selfless devotion to your God, forgetting everything around you, all your circumstances, and just being lost in God brings you peace of mind which is unparalleled. I thank all my listeners for sharing these thoughts of a gopi who addressed a black bee and taunted him, yet disclosed her deep love and affection for Krishna, her God. Thank you very much.